I put my money up.
Damn.
Now I can't re-up, ran up in his spot just to get my stats up. Now I'm back on deck. So shout it.
What's happening, baby? BackBayBetting coming to you live once and again from Biloxi, Mississippi. I am your handsome host, Blake, and we are on fire right now. We hit Thursday last week, Friday last week, Saturday last week, and Sunday last week. Clean sweep over the weekend, and it was amazing. To review, we had to start off today Auburn minus the 12.5 at Vandy. Let's cash that. Kentucky minus the 4.5 at Mississippi State. Let's cash that. And you know, always Rice going over the 58.5. Let's cash that. That was a beautiful day. Chuck split 1-1. Utah State minus the 2.5 at San Diego State. Cash that. And Miami minus the 5.5 at North Carolina State was an L. Now, the NFL, beautiful Sunday. We found us a 40.5. Washington at New England goes under. Mac Jones throws the interception at the end of the game, and we cashed that 40.5. It's a beautiful number, and I found us another one this week. And then Indianapolis minus the 2.5 at Carolina. That was a lock agreement with Chuck. We cashed that with ease. And Chuck also had Minnesota at Atlanta. Atlanta minus the 3.5. Unfortunately, Josh Dobbs showed out. So, moving on to week 11 of college football and week 10 of the NFL. Let's try to stay hot. Let's keep these sweeps rolling. I'm going to start you off with a 6:30 game. I don't like playing in the morning time. LSU at Florida. Florida at LSU in Baton Rouge Tiger Stadium. I know LSU has been scoring a whole bunch of points, but I just feel like this game is going to be a great SEC matchup. Give me the under, 66.5. LSU has 13 overs in a row. You know our numbers are 7, 11, and 13, and I don't think it gets past 13, so let's just stay with our trends. I like LSU and Florida to go under at 6:30. Another 6:30 matchup. Rice taking it down to UTSA. We have been on Rice overs all year. Unfortunately, we will not be on the Rice over this week. JT Daniels is out in concussion protocol. When he left the game last week, they only scored 1 touchdown, punted the ball 5 times, and threw an interception. So we will not be on the over. We'll be on UTSA minus the 13.5. They're averaging 31.2 points per game, led by Frank Harris and Kevorian Barnes. Frank Harris has a 13-6 touchdown to interception ratio. Kevorian Barnes rushed for 129 yards last week, and Rice gave up 280 rushing yards last week against SMU. So I am looking for them to get lit up this week against UTSA. I still lean towards the over, but I think it's going to be all UTSA this week. Rice's defense is still giving up 28.7 points per game, and they are not playing defense at all. So give me UTSA, who's on a 5-0 conference streak, to stay hot in the conference and go to 6-0 in the conference play. Now, the last college game of the day. One of the last college games of the day. 9:30. I'm taking USC at Oregon. Give me the points with USC. I just feel like this is way too many points that we're overreacting. Caleb Williams has a 28-4 touchdown to interception ratio. They are averaging 45.4 points per game. I know their defense is terrible, but I still think they hang into the game, and they're averaging 326 passing yards per game. Wow, Bo Nix does lead the Oregon-led offense, number 1 scoring offense, 47.4 points per game. It's almost begging you to take the over in this one because USC's defense is so bad. But I still think the game ends up close. So give me the points with USC at 14.5 going into Oregon. Chuck's picks, Tennessee at Mizzou. Mizzou plus the 2.5. He likes them to get back on track after losing to Georgia last week. I agree. And Utah at Washington. Washington minus the 8.5. He likes Washington to go stay at home and stay undefeated. And he likes Michael Penix to cover the points. Then one more for you. Texas State at Coastal Carolina. He likes Emory Jones and the Texas State Bobcats to get a win against McCall and the Chanticleers. NFL, Sunday morning, week 10, baby. Let's keep it rolling. Now, found us another 40.5. We're going to Minnesota. New Orleans at Minnesota is under 40.5. Again, Josh Dobbs played great last week. He even got the win outright against Atlanta. Guess what? That's a trend we always play as well. This is the week after, though. They're not going to score as many points as they did. They don't have a Cinderella story, and he's not going to have the juice that he had. Plus, not to mention, the Saints are only averaging 21.7 points with that offense. I do not trust Derek Carr as far as I can throw him, and their defense is pretty darn good. They only give it up 19 points per game, so give me the under 40.5 at 12 o'clock in New Orleans at Minnesota. Another one for you, Washington at Seattle at 325. I love Seattle and Geno Smith to get back on track this week. Washington taking the cross-country trip. We're playing it just like we do in baseball and basketball. When they take that long cross-country trip, we can't stand it. Seattle's finally back on the West Coast. They're going to love it. They got blasted by Baltimore last week. I do understand that. But Washington, without Montez Sweat, without Chase Young, they are awful. They barely won last week against a terrible New England team. And I love what Seattle was able to accomplish. Since without that blowout last week, Seattle's defense has only averaged 20.5 points per game in the last 4. That's amazing. Their defense is going to get back on track. Washington really doesn't move the ball well. They haven't been scoring. Plus, Sam Howell has been getting sacked on average 5 times per game. I think Geno Smith, Smith and Jigma, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, and Charbonnet, they hit him in the mouth and they can cover their 6 points with ease at 325. So give me Seattle minus the 6 at 325. Chuck's picks the Lions minus the 3 at the Chargers. He likes Detroit to roll off the bye week. Going across country, like I said, but they are off bye week. So give him Detroit minus 3 at the Chargers and Dallas minus the 9 at the half. For the first half, you know he's a Cowboys fan. He likes the Giants to not cover the 9 points, or Dallas at 8.5 or 9, depending on what it is at the half. Now, it's at BackBayBetting. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. You definitely got to follow the YouTube because that's where we're posting it. Spotify on the way. Apple Podcasts on the way. And let's get paid.
Just to get my stats up. Now I'm back on deck. So shout it.